10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, hell, the Knights of the Gimmick table where we spit the truth at the infamous round table and your feelings get left at the door. I am Boogaloo and this is LowRyda and we are the Dead Presidents. How you doing today, Chunk?
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Big shout out to Cicadas for that awesome theme song. Shout out to Charles Redmond for our intro video and the Brad for that countdown. Uh, Before we get this show started, let's just get these bills paid and get this shit going, right?
Ooh, Sleeps.com. If you or anybody in your family is an athlete, then Sleeps.com is for you. Sleeps offers everything you need, your one stop shop for any sports needs, as far as compression pants, compression shorts, rash guards, knee pads, sleeves, arm sleeves, dick sleeves, even these dirty boxers. If you see these dirty boxers, they got the elephant trunk. My man Luke Hawx, he'll definitely like to wear something like that when he's ding-a-ling and swinging. But yeah, use our promo code MWA Pod for your 10% discount. Oh, he disappeared. And where we at? And our next one is Health Vape. HealthVape.com. HealthVape.com is your healthy vaping alternative for all your needs. If you or anybody in your family is a vapor, try to get them on this Health Vape. It's vitamin infused, no nicotine, no harmful chemicals. They have several things to choose from. My man Alan Funk likes to say it's like smoking a Red Bull. Try HealthVape.com and use your promo code MWAPOD for your 10% discount.
All right. Also, guys, yeah.
Oh, you back?
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
All right. You can get your Knights of the Gimmick Table merch at storefrontier.com/MWA World. And we got merch for every show on the MWA Podcast Network. We have Killing the Business, That the Shoot Kid. We got the Shooting the Shit Uncensored.
Pierce Austin's show.
And Get
Alan
Funked.
Funk's.
And we even have that Fuck You Brad shirt.
We don't have it up right now, but we'll get it up there soon.
But yeah, we got a lot of shirts. They got face masks. They got
koozies.
Yeah, they got all kinds of shit.
We got
it. Yeah, t-shirts, hoodies, everything, baby onesies,
sports bras.
Yeah, I don't think they have those. But yeah, man. So, other thing, make sure y'all follow us on Twitter and Instagram, MWA World. Subscribe on all the podcast platforms and YouTube at MWA Podcast Network. And follow us on Twitch if you're not already, twitch.tv/MWA World.
All right.
Without further ado, we have a tag team that's been tearing it up, a father and son duo.
I think that's the first since the Griffies tore it up in the MLB.
But big shout out to these two. We got
There
Luke
he
Hawx
goes.
and his son PJ.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, do some more plugging.
This guy,
Plug some
he
more merch.
disappeared. He disappears during the plugs too. You know.
Hey, man, listen. You know I don't like doing that sleeves plug, man.
He disappeared during the
only thing I
help.
like to. Only thing I like to plug on this about the sleeves is the dip sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big sleep. So what's going on, man? What you guys been up to? What's new?
Nothing. Just same. We're just celebrating Perry's birthday. You know,
Oh,
just turned 23, so he's been having
it your
a lot of
birthday today?
functions for us to do. And
damn! I remember when he was 3.
For real.
20
man.
years ago.
I don't think he can hear us.
Wow.
Huh? What was that, Luke?
I don't know.
You got frozen.
I said I don't think he can hear us. I don't know.
I
Perry,
can't hear you.
yours?
I said 20 years ago now. He said he remembers when I was 3.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got how's the other little man?
There you go.
How's he doing? Your other son?
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, still playing the keyboard. Yeah.
He's doing it. He's practicing today. Killing it. He's getting ready
Yeah,
for his,
yeah. Can you hear me? Because I think Perry's got a little bit of lag. I don't hear Perry.
No, we hear Perry fine.
Nah, yeah, we hear him fine.
You're the
you
one
lagging.
lagging.
You're the one lagging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video earlier of
Perry, I think you're too far. Okay, I'm not.
Yeah, you're lagging bad.
Yeah, you're lagging bad there, Papa.
The internet connection isn't good on that side of town.
All right, well, hey, while he's trying to figure that out, PJ, tell us a little something about yourself, man.
Like my father just said, I'm 23 years old or 23 years young, whichever you like prefer.
Happy birthday, my man. Happy birthday.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So it was good, man. But been wrestling for about this month makes 4 years actually, and I've been pro wrestling for about 4 years now, and I've done stunt work on films. Next February makes 3 years, 4 years as well. So time's flying by. I can't even remember, but been doing both for about 4 years, and college student, so balancing out everything, but staying busy, trying to pro wrestle and stunt work and the fun life, the good life.
What's some of the films you worked on?
One of the big ones. One just came out. It was in theaters for a little bit. It's called Heart of a Champions. It's with Michael Shannon, Alexander Ludwig, my he was on Heels as well as David James Elliott, as Charles Melton was on there. So some good big name guys.
Okay.
Done that. Project Power, which Luke was also on. You see more Luke on there than you see me. But there, my first film was called Semper Fi, Marine movie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so that was real cool. That was my first film back in 2018. And most recently, Heels, where you can see me play Denny the referee.
Yeah, I seen you. I saw you like the first. I'm like, oh my god, he's on this show every day. But like your dad, man, your dad's become the white Samuel L. Jackson. Every time I turn on the movie, he's in there. He's getting killed by Wolverine. He's getting kicked in the chest by The Rock. Getting beat up by Jason Statham. He's fucking up Snake Eyes and G.I. Joe.
He might be the most famous bodyguard that gets killed. Yeah,
I tell you, he has some of the most interesting. Hey, some of the most interesting deaths in cinema has been your dad.
I know.
It's my specialty.
Yeah, man. Hey, making people look good, bro.
Putting people over.
That's it. Putting people over.
Hey, man,
never getting put over.
Hey, you struck gold with that shit though when you got into the stunt work. That was
I did.
That was a blessing.
It was a big blessing. It was just one of those things where, I took the ball and I ran with it. I did my first film in 2006 and I really enjoyed it. And I said, man, I'd like to do some more of this. And it was just by chance, you know what I mean? Like it was just like a lucky opportunity to get to do the first one. So moving on forward, I chased it. Go, what you about that?
How'd you get into that?
Well, long story short, I went to school for it. I did the shit you're supposed to do for it. Not like every motherfucker who texts me and hits me up and goes, yo, man, just got released from WWE, man. I'm trying to get in this film shit, bro. Hook it up. You got to make what? Like, yeah, that's how it works. Let me just hook you up.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, for real.
fuck the guys who went to acting school and stunt school and all that shit. Let me bring in somebody who's just looking to make a quick payday. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, let me hook you up.
Yeah. You're
Piers
gonna be the
also
next
said you're
James
gonna be the
Bond.
next James Bond, bro.
Hey, I'm not gonna argue. I probably won't be. I might be the guy that gets killed and shot in James Bond, but
Yeah, why not?
I
Why
don't know.
not?
But hey, it pays the bills. See that? I had to move. I had to move locations. I don't know if it was my Wi-Fi or not. I got full signal, but
Yeah,
I
it's
had my
good
nice
now.
background. Now I got the ceiling fan rolling in the background, so it
Yeah, it's
pays for
good,
that
man.
ceiling
That
fan
sounds
to
good.
keep spinning.
Hey, so what I was gonna ask you, you like I don't know, man. You must have like a fucking lucky horseshoe because you break into the stunt business, and then who opened shop in
What's up, Alan?
Louisiana? Who
I
was
opened
it?
up shop in
What?
Louisiana.
No, not say what movie company? Like was it Paramount or
Oh,
somebody?
no, no. They were all here. They were all coming here from California. We used to have
Yeah.
a tax credit here, and that's actually how it happened. I was eating with Danny Trejo one day. Machete.
Oh,
Me and
there you
him,
go.
and
Name
we,
drop.
we
Oh man.
yeah, we were kicking it. This is when after I did my first film, and we got a mutual friend, friend Ron, who passed away, and my buddy Ron, and Danny. We went and spent the day together, and we were just like hanging out in LA all day, literally all day long. And Danny was telling me like all the work is in Louisiana. He's like, man, you got to get more films. You should be doing more films. And I said, well, I don't I don't know how to do more films. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what I should do because I got a lot to learn. I knew I had a lot to learn. People just want to get films. They don't ask what's the right steps. What can I do to learn? What can I, where do I need to go to study? What should I do? Watch those prop guns. That's not really a funny comment. It's not a prop gun. What happened with that situation was there was a real bullet because they had somebody with inexperience on the set.
Mhm.
And what we do is dangerous. You know what I mean? It's not a fucking joke, and that's why you can't have these people just get in the business and think they can just get in the business. That ain't how it is. Everybody wants to just get in because they think it's a good payday, or you want to be a celebrity or whatever the fuck it is because they don't want to work a 9 to 5. Well, if you want to do it, you do it the right way. You go to school for it. You train for it.
Mhm.
Even Perry. Perry's got to train. Perry's got to go take classes. Perry's got to do stuff. We do things that we don't do anything that's unsafe. And
Right.
it's safety is a big key in films, and it's very dangerous. Our jobs are dangerous. I've had some hell of a job. I've had some jobs that I almost didn't do because I was worried about them. But we took it. We did it. Like I remember my first Airfall. If you watch a film called Homefront with Jason Statham, I
Yes.
kick
Yeah.
in his door and I get blasted with a shotgun. But you don't see that I'm on a ratchet. What a ratchet is, I got a vest on with a wire hooked to the back, and there's a machine. And when they hit the button, you're going.
You going?
You
Yeah.
got no control. So I had to take that down a flight of stairs with no pads. And let me tell you
Wow.
how, what I mean? Like this was my first like major stunt, like major stunt. I'm not just getting shot or I'm not getting, what I mean, not a fight. This is like, hey,
A lot could
you
go
got to
wrong.
ride
Yeah.
this wire. Thank you. Yeah, a lot could go wrong. You could just hit your head, right? And like you're trying to protect yourself the best you can. Um,
Mhm.
and it's like that's what these people don't understand. Like, and I just it frustrates me this new generation of whatever you want to call it, wrestlers, entertainers, anything they just want to get in without putting the
Yeah.
work in. They want to send a
Yep.
message. They want to send you a DM on Twitter or on Instagram or whatever, and just try and make a connection, a networking thing. It's not a networking thing. Like if you want to do something, like you don't go to med school. I mean, you don't go be a doctor without going to med school, right? You don't go
Right.
to you're not a lawyer without going to law school. So it's like there's steps to I'm not saying you can't get lucky and get a spot here or there, but it's like if you are serious about it and that's something you want to do, then you take the right steps
Pursue
that's
it.
necessary to go forward. Yeah. So
Mhm.
like it's just like wrestling. It's like the same thing with the assholes in wrestling. They all want to be wrestlers. They don't want to train to be a wrestler. They don't want to they don't want to go to practice and they don't want to do the squats and the push-ups and the sit-ups and what I mean and bumping 5 million times doing the same shit. So that as a coach, man, that shit gets old for me because I hear the same story. I'm not being a dick. I'm just being honest. Nobody talks about it, right? Nobody ever talks about it. I'm talking about it because of the position I'm in. I hear the same story from every single person, but there's
Yeah.
about this much of them that want to actually put it in work. So, like it's frustrating, man, because it's not easy. And just because it's a cool job doesn't mean it's easy. Like we're not, it's not like going and bagging groceries, bro. It's a whole different
Yeah,
fucking
man.
ball game.
Right.
What's up? What's up?
Well,
And what's up, Alan? I
Angel
see
got
Alan's in
in.
here.
Angel got in
you,
getting
you remember
hanging
Angel, right?
coffee.
Angel.
You know Angel.
Yeah, I remember Angel. Yeah.
So I remember you telling me the story you got in with you said what's his name broke you in Florida. Was it Maddie, right?
In the business,
Yeah, when you
Maddie gave
broke
me
in
my
with
first
Maddie.
my first
Yeah,
match. My first
yeah, your
match.
first
Yeah, my
match.
first
Yeah,
match.
yeah, Maddie.
Yeah.
Maddie. That's
Rosie. Maddie.
Rosie. For those
The
that you
lot.
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but you were trained by who were you trained by? Vic Rhymes originally.
Rick Grimes. Yeah. Well, originally I started with the Turds in Louisiana, but I knew they didn't know shit. I knew I needed to get out. So I went to California. I started training with Vic. Long story short, I went out there and started training with Vic, and kind of learning on the go because he didn't have a ring. So we would go to we would work out in his backyard and do some stuff in his backyard. We would go to shows early and train before the show and things of that nature. Mike Modest and Donovan Morgan had a school out there.
Right.
And we'd go there every now and then and train when we could go sneak in there and get in there for a little bit and train. So it was just different avenues. Wrestling schools weren't like they were today. They didn't have one on every corner back then. So they were still kind of
They're
hard to
everywhere
find and
now.
hard to get into. But they're everywhere, and they teach you shit because nobody knows shit. So it's like like I was talking about earlier. You get a student who comes in, they train for 3 months, they can't put on headlocks properly. They get mad because they're not advancing, then they quit and they buy a ring, and now they training their buddies in their
Yep.
backyard, and
They running shows. Yep.
You ain't
yeah, and
learning
they're
about
running
that
shows,
shit.
and you're like,
No.
but hey, you can't do that. You can't do that with any other business. You can't
No.
you can't say, look, I'm an NFL football player. I'm a professional football player. Okay, well, what team did you play for? Oh, well, I didn't play for a team. You know what I mean? Why do
Yeah.
you do that with wrestling? Why is it okay with wrestling? I don't fucking understand it.
Because you got people that were never athletes coming in because they get to play tough guy. They get to live out of their fantasies. Like, oh yeah, I'm fucking stone cold. No, motherfucker, you were the one getting pushed in your fucking locker when you was a kid. Now you all of a sudden you're a fucking tough guy and you're a fucking mark for yourself. Like I remember wrestling a fucking jackass that his first match he had his own fucking shirt. He had his own shirts, selling his own shirts and shit. But it is what it is. Oh man, this guy. I was wondering why he was so still. There he goes.
Bruh,
Yo, you there?
I can't win. Hey,
Hey, let me ask you a question.
this
How'd
this
you meet Grimes?
happens. This happens. Hold on,
No.
I was about to make a dead president's joke, but I got cut
Go
off.
ahead.
So y'all probably did that shit on purpose because y'all heard me say dead presidents and y'all cut me off. So I ain't gonna make the joke now. But but every time I use this StreamYard app, like this is like the third time I do it, it does this to me.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't. Y'all never had this problem?
No,
Nah. Only Rockshaw
Yeah,
last week had a big problem.
your man Rockshaw.
it keeps it resets. It resets every now and then. It's like my because I'm on the internet, so it just like my you know how like when you refresh a page, it just randomly refreshes and it cuts me off and does that. I'm
Right.
on, but I'm also
All right.
on a
Doesn't do
shitty
that for
app.
anybody
I'm
else.
on an
All right.
iPad.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I'm on real interesting for podcasts.
How'd you meet Grimes, man?
I harassed him. I harassed the shit out of him.
You went to the
I
ECW
lied
show?
to him. I lied to him at the ECW show, and I said, "Hey, I didn't really lie to him, but I made a little." I said, "Hey, let me get your phone number. I'm gonna get you booked on these shows in Louisiana." And I was trying to get him booked on shows in Louisiana. Instead of getting booked on shows in Louisiana, I just called him and aggravated him all the time. So
You
and then he
I
go,
remember you
"Fuck."
saying like I remember you back in the day telling me like you just like fucking packed up and just went out to California, right? You didn't even let them
What
know you were
eventually,
coming,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That's what happens.
That's
That's
what
what
that's
happens.
what I was
Yeah,
trying to
that
get
is
to.
the
That's what I was
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get to.
Oh, y'all trying to get to that shit. Like it's just
No,
Cal,
because
tell the
it's
story
bro,
anymore.
because your fucking story is interesting, bro.
Yeah, your
Like
whole life is
like I didn't
interesting,
even
man.
go into your childhood because that's in
Yeah,
itself
we
that's
got
something
we don't have time for
I
that.
need more time for you
Yeah.
because like you have one of the most interesting life stories and for you that came from nothing and then you chase your dream all the way to California, then you wind up in the East Coast and all while being a young father. I mean, bro, it's pretty amazing. Like I wish that we did have more time so we could get everything out there. But we'll do it again. I mean, I
Well,
don't care.
but yeah, yeah, we
Good.
will. I mean, long story short, guys, it's not all peaches and rainbows. You know what I mean?
No.
It was rough, and I mean, it was rough. With Perry, Perry could tell you. Perry can get into it more than I can, about me not being there a lot, and the
Mhm.
shit that went down between me and his mom, and it was never really. It was just you're chasing a dream, and if you want
Right.
to be successful, it's what had to be done, because nothing was going on in New Orleans, nothing was going on in Louisiana. We didn't even
Right.
have the film business back here, back then. So if I wanted to make it, I had to get out, and there was no rhyme or reason on where to Angel.
Fuck it.
I'll let
Fuck
him
you,
talk.
Angel.
I'm saying there's no rhyme or reason to where to go back then. You know what I mean? Like it used to be like if you wanted to make it, you went to Philly, right? And that was like the first spot I went to,
Yeah, you
and
did.
I got shafted. I got shafted out there. Long story short, with that is you guys know the guy I knew who was connected out there who was supposed to hook me up completely ignored me while I was there. So instead of going back home, I just jumped in my car and drove from Philly to Oakland and knocked on Vic's door. So that's what, because I just wasn't going to come back home because I didn't want to be home. I didn't want to be here. Like, there
Right.
was nothing going on here. I wanted to make a name for myself, and I wanted to be a pro wrestler. And all that led to where I am today. And thank God, like, for my consistency and my persistence and my fucking being a hard-headed motherfucker where I just wouldn't take no for an answer, and I always try. But you guys are my age, so y'all know what's up. Remember, back then, nobody gave you advice. And if they gave you advice, they usually gave you bad advice. You
Yeah,
fuck up and get out the business and
Yeah,
not take
because
that spot.
you
everybody's
remember everything was
trying
so
to get you
cutthroat.
ran over.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
be
yeah,
cutthroat.
exactly. So it was it was all trial and tribulations. Perry's got a different life. PJ got a different life. Like I look out for him. He knows that. I just
But
need him to get on that grind. I need him to get on that hustle because
oh,
I need him to
man,
search for.
from what I see, he's like he's hustling, bro. Because everywhere you go, he's there with you. I mean,
Well, that's the
he's
thing.
making the rounds
Is
with you.
No, he is. I just don't want him to make the rounds with me. I want him to make the rounds on his own. You know what I mean? Like I
And
like being there and doing everything with him. But like I always tell him, I said, what if I die tomorrow? You know what I mean? Like I need him to build these relationships with people and get after chasing bookings and get after doing things. Like
and
he
he
can still
will.
go through me and say, hey, should I reach out to this company? Should I do this? Should I do that? But like he's so used to me being the one to have everything set up for him. I don't want to do that no more. And I don't like because I think he's at that age now where like I've opened that door for him. Now it's time for him to kick it in really and just run with because he's got the talent, he's got the skills, and he's got the attitude. But like chasing it's a big part of it. You guys know, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Chasing is a big part of it. It's not about just putting a tweet out there or putting a post on Facebook. You know what I mean? That's part of it too, but it's
yeah.
like there's so much more to it. Like you have to really get out there and you have to be seen, you have to grind and you have to make relationships with people, you know what I mean? And not necessarily for a job, like you don't have to kiss ass, but people need to think of you. So you need to do things so when people have something, they go, oh, there's this kid Perry, or there's this kid Luke, or there's this, whatever the fuck it is.
Mhm.
Like he'd be great for the spot because a lot of
Yeah.
times people are so busy doing whatever they're doing that they're gonna think of the first person that comes to their mind is usually like who's kind of close to them or somebody that's kind of in their face more often. So you gotta be consistent with being in people's faces and stuff and making people think of you.
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
No,
I hear you.
you ain't wrong. That was a lot of my issue was I always just was like I was just there. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody knew Lou, and I was just there. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like rare when I was connecting with people or even trying to politic. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like I for me, that was the least that I wanted to do. I never really cared to talk to people, and once I got to know somebody and I could vibe with them, then I was good with it. But just fucking trying to start the whole conversations and shit, I was just like, nah, man, I'm gonna just chill off in the cut and and we'll go from there.
Right. I think that's part of my
Yeah.
biggest problem too. I feel the same way. I know partially I know my dad introduced me to a lot of people, but also for when I seen pro wrestling, there's a ton of people that'll kiss your ass, but they're not really your friends. And I don't really I'll be cordial, but I don't really need to speak to everybody in the sense of like, oh man, like what's up, hugging but it's not really like that. And so
Yeah,
I've never really approached it to where I need to be more, I guess, open, but I
yeah.
still speak and stuff. But that's another thing too. I was talking to you guys earlier, but I'm still in college. I have 5 classes left, and then I'm done. I finished my undergraduate 4 years, and
That's awesome, bro.
I really
I'm,
just wanted to knock this out. And then but I've been
nah,
starting to think about it more. I'm just like, man, after that, I'm free to go. I can
what
pursue wrestling
what
and
are you
try
majoring in?
exercise physiology.
What is it?
So exercise physiology. So
Okay,
basically, to do physical training,
Okay.
PT, like physical therapist, any of that kind of stuff.
okay. So you
In
you'll be able
in
to
that
heal your
realm.
old ass dad.
What's up?
You'll be able to heal your dad. Is that
Yeah,
what
I'm trying to heal myself. I mean, from getting beat up too much, but I just really wanted to knock it out of the way, and now I'm close. I see that finish line. I'm like, I can really start pursuing it. So part of it is now that I'm getting there, I'm starting to just think about life and wrestling and film more. Then now once I'm done, I fully plan to pursue it hard and just start to get the ball rolling. But I'm starting to do that now. I've been talking to him about that a lot more. We had this conversation probably about 2 weeks ago, and I told him I was just talking about it because I'm like I really don't know how to approach it. It's awkward to be like, hey man, can I get on the show? It's like, well, no, yes, but that's part of the game, right? You're gonna get told no,
Right.
you're gonna get told yes. You just gotta go out there and apply yourself and also be seen, like you said. So
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of the problem you guys are gonna have is you're gonna have a lot of motherfuckers that are gonna be, uh, you know, definitely trying to kiss your ass because they're gonna want to get brought into fucking
I want to
to
be on
do shows with
heels.
y'all,
I
or
want to get on
hey,
heels.
maybe if I kiss your ass, you can hook me up with heels. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like,
right,
Yeah,
and that's a shitty part,
yeah,
of
mhm,
everything.
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
pops, it was worth it. Look,
Hey,
everything
it's
looked good,
definitely
worked
StreamYard.
out.
It's definitely StreamYard.
Sh- Sure,
I
bro.
don't know because
Sure.
I've been fine. So I
Yes.
think, yeah,
Only you and
Yeah, but
Alan.
look,
Only
I
you and
just moved.
Alan.
I moved. I moved next to my router. I came to my computer room and
Yeah,
back to my house, and it's still like it's kind of in a disarray because of the hurricane and shit. I got a bunch of shit just packed in here. But
yeah.
when I came in here, like as soon as I set it up, a few seconds later, it cut off again, and fucking it says repeatedly having a problem with StreamYard. Do you want to continue to use this link?
Oh shit.
That's what it said
Hey,
on my iPad. So
that's crazy. Hey, do you know, PJ? You know who Crowbar is, right? Devin Storm.
yes, I do.
So he followed the same thing like you. He stayed with school the whole time. Like Angel will tell you stories because Angel came into business with him, and
Mhm.
he was all about his education. And I remember my trainer Johnny Rods telling me one day he's like, that guy will have a job for life in any company if they because he was doing like chiropractic work and PT work and like
Mhm.
and it was true. Like he would show up in any company and they'll hire him on the spot because of all the stuff he would do.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep doing the thing, man. I'm very proud of you, man. Like I told you earlier, I said I remember you were 3 years old and your dad hitting the gimmick tables at the wrestling shows, trying to buy you little action figures to send you home.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I got to give credit to my mom for that because originally I wanted to go to college for business, but she told me, she's like, why are you doing that when that has nothing to do with what you're doing? Why don't you do something that's going to be related to, what you're doing, which is, physical therapy, I like just learning about
Mhm.
the body because you're going to be beating your body up a lot. So
Yeah,
be smart to know. I'm like, that's true. I didn't even think about that. And
smart woman.
yes, she's very smart.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, man. So tell me, I remember you
You frozen
when the
again.
amateur ranks. How good were you in high school? How far did you make it?
I did pretty well. I started my freshman year, and I had a little bit of athleticism, but not really. When I was a kid, I did taekwondo for a little while, and then I did track and soccer, but nothing really stuck. But I knew I wanted to be a pro wrestler, so I knew I had to get tough,
Right.
and that's why I'm like, all right, I'm going to join the wrestling team when I get in high school, because I knew Kurt Angle did it, Brock Lesnar did it, and like look how far they got. So I know it's going to
Yeah.
just make me tough, and
It's a good base, man. It's a
yeah.
good base to get into wrestling.
And I did it. I did it all 4 years. My freshman year, I went 19 and 19. Sophomore year, 39 and 12. Junior year, 34 and 11, and then senior year, 47 and 9.
Nice.
I took fourth, and third at state and folk style, and I won Greco and freestyle state. So I did pretty
Nice,
well.
man.
I went
That's
to.
great.
I was on Team Louisiana, which is the top people in Louisiana. You guys, it's a team, and you go to like certain tournaments. So I went to junior duels in Oklahoma, so I was on that twice, and it was a lot of fun, man. I will tell you, it's one of the toughest things I've ever done in my life, and it pushed me really hard. But without that, I wouldn't be mentally as strong as where I am today, and physically as strong as well, because it's all the foundation for me for pro wrestling. I knew when I came in, I didn't want to just have the pass because I'm Luke's son, so I knew I had to come in and work hard. And when we had training at Wildcat, I wanted to be like, okay, I'm going to run laps faster than you. I'm going to do more push-ups than you. I'm going to be able to do this better than you. And I did that, and that's. But without that amateur wrestling, though, I wouldn't have been able to do that, because we do hundreds and hundreds of push-ups and hundreds of sit-ups and running. And,
it's so repetitive. Like I got the same background. It's like very repetitive. Same routine every day. And I used to tell, he used to see me like I wouldn't eat like because I had to make weight, so I would eat one time a day. If I ate a Dorito, I'm running for blocks. I'm running like 3 blocks to burn off one Dorito. I put on a big ass leather jacket, put him on the back of a bicycle, and start riding. We actually got mugged.
Really?
While I was trying to cut weight, I had a big leather jacket on, hoodies, and I put him on the back of a bike, and I'm riding with him, and some dude hit us with a car. They got out, pulled guns on us, and fucking mugged me for my jacket and shit like that.
Man.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's good. It wasn't a fist fight, because when you're cutting weight, you're pissed off, you're hungry. So that would have been good for him. But
I was miserable.
I'm back, dog, and I ain't cutting out this time. I threw my piece of shit iPad in the room, and I hooked it up to my Android phone, which is the best phone. Androids, I don't care what anybody says.
Here we go.
You're looking crispy clear right now.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Now y'all clear. I can hear you. We in the house. What's up? I missed some shit. Perry got some shine time. That's why I did a hot tag for Perry.
I like it. That's a key to good tag team wrestling. Hey, they got a question for you here. What made them want to become pro wrestlers?
If Perry could answer that question, go Perry. Why you want to be a wrestler?
Really, I would say because of you. You inspired me. I loved watching him as a little kid. Going to his shows. He was like a superhero to me. Watching him out there and wrestle. What were you gonna say?
I thought it was to piss your mom off, but I guess it was
inspiration. I was just excited.
That's the added bonus.
It's always been something I've been drawn to it. I was just with some friends today from middle school. We got together and we were talking about it at lunch. He's like, "Yeah, I've always said it. I want to be a pro wrestler. I want to be a pro wrestler." And it's just been something that ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to do it. And, I followed through with it. But again, I have my dad to thank for that, for introducing me, and I'd always watch it and go to the shows. It's just fun. It's amazing.
It is fun.
And done right, there's nothing better. I don't think there's anything better when it's done right.
So. Yeah.
Luke, what about you, man? What made you want to be a wrestler, man?
The same. There was nothing I watched.
Well, it wasn't your dad, right?
It definitely wasn't my dad.
Your dad, Vic Grimes, backup dad.
If anything, my dad used to piss me off and make me want to do it more. My real dad, because he'd be like, "Oh, that shit's fake. Why you want to do that stupid shit? You're gonna be in jail just like your mama." That's what they used to tell me. You can go to jail. You can be all right. Yeah, all right. So
let me ask you a question. I saw the what is that shit called on Vice? Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh, look, we got a question about it right there.
forget that guy. Let me.
We can't say that.
Nah, man.
Yeah, that's
Pierce
Pierce
is the
Austin.
dude.
He runs the company.
He's the
He
guy
runs the
that runs
company.
our podcast network.
So my thoughts on my dad's XPW matches. They were interesting. You know, I've never. I lied. Okay, I recently watched his match with Supreme. It's the one where you use the chain rail. You did like a drop kick with it. You did like a swinging drop kick. You remember that?
Yes, I
The House of
I,
Horrors match.
I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that.
But I think
I
that's probably
remember
the most
that match.
it's been a while, but it's the last death match of him that I've seen. But
That one was watered down. That was a super watered down one because that one
That was the second one, right?
no, that was the last. That was the last one
In
because
Philly.
yeah, and the reason
Yeah.
that was the last one was the Pennsylvania Athletic Commission had canceled death matches. You couldn't bleed in matches anymore and stuff
Yeah.
then. So we had to take out all the elements of death matches and try and do something creative. So we hung those weapons, above the ring, and we hung them from chains. I don't know whose idea it was to do the match. That was the first time that match had ever been done, though, which was cool because I was the first person to be in it, and which you get no credit for, obviously, like anything else in fucking wrestling. But that was the first, and like even TNA store took it after they called it like a House of Horrors match or a Chamber of Horror, or they did some shit with like a similar thing. But I had this idea. I said, I wonder if I could swing off of one of these chains from one corner to another corner.
You remember
I
that?
said I
Game,
would,
don't you?
yeah.
Yeah, I remember
And
you
I
like
was
going through it. You practiced it like one time. And you're like, I got this.
yeah, exactly. I was like, I need something to hang off of. So I was like, let's put the turnbuckle from the ring on it. That way I could grip it. We could use it as a weapon. You could hit him with it, but I could also grip it like a fucking swing and swing across.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And this is cool shit because I don't ever talk about this on podcasts and shows. And that was like, it's crazy that Perry brought it up because that was like the most watered down death match of them all because it wasn't really a death match. C3 Muscle in the house. Damn. That dude squats like 1,000,000 pounds. You ever see this dude squat?
Nah,
No belt,
man.
no sleeves, no nothing. Just he's an animal. That's my boy. And he eats Chick-fil-A every day too.
Hey,
man, you can't go wrong with Chick-fil-A.
Only on Sundays.
But yeah, he don't eat it on Sundays unless he puts it in his fridge, I guess. But but yeah, I was like, I had all these crazy inventive ideas. I didn't come up with that match, but I came up with some of the moves in the match, and those were unique times back then because everything wasn't overdone 5 million times. We were still trying to be inventive. Like when I did the 450 off the crow's nest, and when we did the scaffold where I came off the top of the scaffold to the floor. Like they had scaffold matches before, but they were above the ring. So for us, I was like, man, they got that scaffold over there. Let's use it and let's get thrown off it. You know what I mean? Like let's do some shit.
Didn't you guys have it wasn't a 3-way, but I remember Angel being in that match.
That was a 3-way. That was a 3-way.
That was a 3-way?
And
I remember him going off the top of the scaffold, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, he got body slammed. Supreme Mark Henry slammed him. World Strongest slammed him off the top of the scaffold.
Damn, man.
And damn near killed him. That dude's a tough dude, bro. Angel was a tough dude.
You ever keep in touch with him?
Nah, we just did a podcast the other day with Chris Clausen and all the XPW guys, me, Messiah, Chris Clausen, a few other fellas, and Chaos. And I asked about it because I don't know where he's at now. But they said he's doing good. I forget what they said he's doing, but they said he's healthy. He's living a good life. So, which is cool because that dude beat up his body, man.
Remember he couldn't walk out. He had remember him trying to walk after that bump?
Yeah, he couldn't walk.
I remember calling the office and he would answer the phone. Hey guys.
Besides
that, who else did you look up to in this business, man?
Shane Douglas.
Shane Douglas. No, I do have a lot of respect for Shane. I know my dad and him did have issues, but it's resolved now. But talking to Shane, somebody that's very knowledgeable, and it's great. It's probably one of my favorite things. I always tell him, like, whenever Tracy Smothers, who passed away recently, last year now, but talking to Tracy or Shane, those guys, it's always a pleasure because they've done so much, and just being able to sit with them and hear all the stories they talk about it's Stevie Richards. It's another person I love talking to Stevie. The whole BWO. We're in Alaska with Nova and Blue Meanie, but man, when you get to just sit and talk to those guys and they tell you stories and just advice, it's nothing better than that because I mean they've done it all, right? And
Yeah.
they've been through it. It's cool. It's very eye opening, and so any guys like that, because and they don't have to give back either, but they do it because they want to. They want to talk to people and help out. So I have a lot of respect for guys like that.
He had other guys that were his favorite wrestlers, like growing up and stuff. But
I love Kane when I was little. Kurt Angle. I do like to watch a lot of Kurt Angle now. Just helps me, just see his amateur wrestling. And Punk was my favorite. It was cool seeing him return. Working with him on heels.
You got to work with him on the heels too.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. If you told a 13-year-old kid me that I'd work with CM Punk, I'd be like, "You're right," but it's not that caliber. So
yeah, I remember back in I'm trying to think of how long ago it was, but I remember when y'all did that spot with Matt Hardy.
Yeah,
I was like, God damn, Luke
Matt is real cool.
How old were you when y'all did that whole spot?
14. I was 14. I was 13 or 14 years old right
there. I was like, damn, man, break them in.
Yeah. Could you imagine being a 14-year-old kid, running spots and wrestling on TV with Matt Hardy?
Kid?
Oh man, look at that guy! Look at that guy! Hey, that was the first night I met Grimes. I met them both the same night. That was I think Angel.
How many years later is this one?
That's it. Oh, way later. I think
Angel looked like the old guy from the bodega.
I think Angel got stabbed in the ass that night with a fork.
Oh.
Yeah, he probably enjoyed it too.
Angel, you listening? Yeah, because like the whole thing, the funny thing was, what did he say? I missed what he
telling Louis to look at the phone for the
he sent me that, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, like, back then, is like what happened with Angel with the fork is when he got stabbed with the fork in his ass, like the whole dude's, not only the fork, but the guy's like whole fist like disappeared, and I don't know where it went.
And then his watch, he lost his watch. That Angel
came out, yeah.
So if he says that Paul didn't pay him, he got a payday. He got a gold Rolex out of it.
Oh man.
Oh shit. Hey, but like I was gonna say, that fucking thing on Vice, I didn't realize that Rob put a hit out on you for putting your hands up.
Yeah, I was actually I saw Pierce that put that up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah, and then of course he denied it. Like nowadays he denies it. Like, oh bullshit. Oh, why would I do that? Okay, motherfucker. Ask Jerry Lynn. There was a million guys backstage back then that you could talk to about it that witnessed it. Yeah. So he could say. And then the funny thing is, we talked about it on the podcast with Clausen when I was just talking about. They were talking about like it was known around the office that you can't put your hands up for a chair shot. And Joey accidentally put his hands up for a chair. Chaos put his hands up for a chair shot one night early in his career in XPW, and he was like, he knew he was going to get done in for because it was a no there. Yeah. So Rob could sit there and say all the bullshit he wants. Yeah, I did get stabbed in the ass, most painful.
I remember when we wrestled Mexico's Most Wanted.
Awesome matches, by the way.
He took the Montezuma's revenge the first time we worked them, and Damien and Halloween told him, "Hey, when we're gonna kick, go like that, so that way you could block, that way you don't get your shit rocked." And after the match, before the next match we had with them, they healed him out. They said, "Don't fucking put your arms up, whatever." And then when you said that on the fucking show, it all clicked. And then when he got blasted, the second match, he had a concussion.
Yeah.
He caught a concussion.
And Halloween was stiff as hell, boy.
Yeah.
Halloween was stiff. I worked Halloween a few times. I worked Halloween when he was older, and he was still swinging chairs and shit. And when he hits you, he was swinging.
Yeah.
So I was like,
he broke his foot on Louis' head.
He broke his foot on my head.
Oh.
Remember when he kicked me in the head? He broke his foot on my head.
Hey, the good old days.
Yeah, man. Don't get playing. I told him that going into that match. I said, don't stiff them unless they stiff us. And then boom, right off rip, the motherfucker hit me. I said, it's on.
Yeah.
But we had good times at XPW, like us hanging out and shit.
It was fun.
Me, you, Smokey, Johnny Storm, what's his name? Zebra Kid, Roy Bevis.
Zebra Kid, yeah.
Yeah.
It was my boy. Like Perry and his son are real close.
That's awesome.
That's cool, man.
Hey,
That's
his
awesome.
son's good. Ricky Knight, Ricky
Yeah.
Knight Jr. That dude's
Yeah,
fucking good,
that's fucking
real
awesome.
good. The States. It's crazy that he's not over here wrestling in the States because that motherfucker's good. I would put
Oh
my
man,
hand up. Yep.
Listen, man. When you're now we know we're like fuck. I'm a look out for myself, you know. But
yeah,
back in those days, I was like fuck. I look like I'm gonna eat this fucking swinging
sure.
kick to the fucking head.
Well, we just knew it was gonna hurt, right? And we were like,
Yeah,
to us, we had to be tough, you know. And
Right.
it was like football players, you know. Back
yeah,
then, like it was, you get hit hard, you get up and you walk it off, and you play hurt and you play hurt. And if we didn't know anything about concussions back then. Like we knew we had a concussion.
yeah.
We didn't know we ain't supposed to wrestle the next day. We just like, fuck, this is gonna suck. We got a concussion, got to wrestle with a concussion,
Yep.
because it's
And
just what you
we
had
did
to
it.
do. And you
And we
did it.
did
And
it.
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody did. It was just one of those things because you were scolded if you didn't do it. And not only were you scolded, you would lose your spot because somebody else was moving in.
Somebody's ready to step in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I had this conversation, with my girl the other day, and I was just like, man, people are so soft now, and I don't know if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing because men ain't necessarily tough anymore. Like you don't see. I think fighting's good. I think it's good to have a fight. I think it's good to be rough and not all the time. I'm not saying like I support bullying and picking on a kid because he's poor or
No.
whatever, and what I mean, or because of sexual orientation. None of that stuff. But it's gonna happen, right? In some way, shape, or form. I don't think hazing's a bad thing as long as it doesn't go too far. I think that you need to make people pay their dues and earn their keep and prove that they're in a position to be in like a top spot. Because look, you look at all these companies nowadays, look at all these wrestlers, and I might get heat for saying this, but it is what it is. Look at all these wrestlers, right? These wrestlers who come up real quick and they in the business a year or two and they get a big contract, and then all of a sudden, like it's a little bit too much for them, and they go, "Oh, my mental health's bad. I need to take a break." And then they jump, and then next thing you know, like they get released from that company, and then 8 months later, a year later, I'm coming back to wrestling, and then they get signed with another company, and then you see it a couple months later, same thing. Hey, my mental health's bad, or like, and then people do have mental health problems, but I think some people use it
As an excuse.
or an advantage. So
Yeah.
it's hard to pick out who does and who doesn't, right? Because like at some point in your life, you're gonna have to deal with tough times and tough jobs and tough, situations. Like you can't be in the military, right? You can't be in the military and be in the middle of a war in Afghanistan or Iraq and have like a mental health breakdown. Like that's just one of those things where you have to be tough. Like that shit's gonna fuck with your head later on in life, obviously, because you're seeing things that a 20-year-old kid shouldn't probably be seeing. But at the same time, like that's a time when you need to have a strong head on your shoulders because you're in a life or death situation. So you need to be as strong as you possibly can. And I think that people need tough times in their life to set them up for failures. Right now, when people fail, they can't take blame for their failures, right? They want to put it off on somebody else. It's always somebody else's excuse, or sometimes they'll say it's mental health. Like I don't understand it, and maybe it's not for me to understand. Like I said, and I do believe that some people do. There's a lot of people out there that suffer with mental health, but I think as the point of the conversation, and the point I'm going is that the generation nowadays aren't really going through tough times to figure out what's a mental health issue and what's not a mental health issue. They think when they're having a tough time, it's just hard and they need to step away. Sometimes you got to fucking work longer hours and hard times and do shit you don't want to do and eat shit. And, like we all did, right? No matter what job you in, like you got to work your way up the ladder. You got to work your way up the ladder, and you need to be in situations that so-called toughen you up, because, it's lost, man. It's lost. Toughness is a skill. And I'm not saying people need to get their heads bashed. I'm not saying we need to go beat the shit out of people until, they can't see straight. I'm just saying that in certain instances, you got to have some toughness come back.
Yeah, yeah, and then I mean,
You're
and
right, 100%.
that starts at home too. You know what I'm saying? With the whole everybody gets a trophy now bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
It
that's
starts
that's
at home.
exactly right. And that's why, like, look, James Harrison, bro. I mean, people know this. So true, this generation entitled. Yeah, it is. There's so many entitled people. You know what I mean? They think like people think that they just because they want to do something that they should be able to do it, and that's not the case. Like you should have to earn, especially like a job or anything, especially like a fucking a job in anything like wrestling or baseball or football or entertainment, like where you should have to beat people out for those positions, right? You should have to earn those jobs. No way, no different than working your way up the ladder in the company. You know what I mean? You don't just come in one day and say, yeah, I think I want to do I think I want to fucking manage this IT company, and even though I don't know anything about IT, right? Like you work your way up the
You can
ladder.
say that. There's plenty of people I'm sure that will say it, hey, I think I should manage this, but they're gonna be like, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, I get asked all the time. Like, and this is frustrating me. Sometimes it's people in entertainment, sometimes it's not. They're like, yo, I want to come manage some wrestling matches. I want to be a manager. And I'm like, all right, well, you got to come train.
Yeah.
And you got to
Wait, I
learn the
gotta do
business a
that?
little bit. They're like, no, I know, dude, I can manage. Trust me, I got a big personality, and and I'm
I
like,
could talk. I could talk.
no, you have to train. You have to understand wrestling. You have to understand the business. You have to understand what goes on behind the scenes. It's not just putting you out there. I can't just stick you with a guy and put you out there because you know me. And like it'll become a fight. They'll get mad at me because they're like, well, I got talent. I can talk. I got, what I mean? I got a big personality. I'm like, that ain't the fucking point. That ain't the point.
Yep.
It drives me crazy, bro. It drives me crazy. I was about to tell you, it goes back to my boy James Harrison. James caught so much shit because his two kids got participation trophies. And you know who he is, a linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
He made his kids give the trophies back, and he said, my kids ain't getting nothing unless they earn it. Same with Perry. I never hand Perry nothing. Like, Perry had to do the work. Look, I promise you right now, Perry would not be where he is in wrestling if he didn't put in all the work he put in amateur wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and at first,
said, man.
ask Perry how much we butted heads when he first started wrestling and how I was trying to toughen him up and how I wanted, like, I realized he wasn't really going to listen to me because I was his dad, but he would listen to his coach. Mm-hmm. So I had to step back a little bit and thank God, like a switch flip really quick with Perry that like, because like at first he was getting slaughtered. He would go out there and he'd be like, I don't want to hurt the guy. I don't want to hurt, I'm scared. Tell him, Perry.
Go, continue. You're doing a really good job. So.
Look, when he first started wrestling, he was timid. He just like, I don't want to hurt the guy. I said, and then he learned real quick, either I'm gonna get this motherfucker or he's gonna get me. So I better attack his ass. So yeah, so like at some point in his freshman year, like probably midway through the season, that switch flipped. And like he turned into a killer. Like he just started going after guys. And I was like, all right, there we go. That's what we need right there. The aggressiveness to go, the hungriness, the not the but you got to understand, like, he didn't grow up in a situation. He didn't grow up like I did. I was fucking fist fighting every day of the week, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't get in fist fights and shit. Like, I had a fight because I was a white kid in a black neighborhood. So I get my ass whooped all the time because I wasn't supposed to be living in that neighborhood, which I had no fucking control over, Mm-hmm. So, like, he didn't have to go through that shit. And I'm glad he didn't. But at the same time, it goes back to, like, we're men. We have to be tough. We have to be protectors. We have to,
And the thing is, too, as a father, you always want what's best for your kids. So you want your kid to have better than you had. You want your kid to be better than you and everything.
Of course.
And you want to give him, like my son, man, he told me he wants to do this. Hey, man, you want to play football? Psh, I'm going out and buying all the shit. Okay, we're gonna throw the ball here. Oh, he wants to play soccer. Hey, let's go. I got him like 20 soccer balls, a big ass net. Go ahead and kick some goals because you want to be there. You want to be a part of that. It's and they like they think it's like you're trying to live your life through them. No, I just want to give my son every opportunity there is for him to succeed.
Right, right. But you also want to earn it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like he thinks he's fucking Cristiano Ronaldo, bro. You got to practice to be good. He don't want to fucking practice. Well, I don't need to practice. I just show up. I'm like, all right, you get, but he don't want to listen to me. He'll listen to his coach, but he don't want to listen to me.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
that's
the way it
normally how it
is.
is. Yeah, because you're his parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like you
yeah,
just hope that like the coach gets on. Look, Perry's coach is like his second dad. And and that I'm thankful for that. I look at things differently than a lot of other people think. Like his mom's boyfriend, like that. His mom. Most men would have a problem with another man being around their kid a lot and doing things. And his mom's boyfriend's around both my kids a lot, and he treats them great. And that is just 100% fine with me because the more strong role models that he has in his life that like we're all different, right? And he can learn, they can all learn from each of us. And
yeah.
like I'd rather some dude who is interested in my son, and his well-being and cares for him when I'm not around.
Mhm.
That's it takes a village. That's the whole saying. It takes a village. So like
Yep.
I'm thankful for these men to also be in my children's life.
Especially if they're positive. Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah, that's what only positive, right? Like I ain't gonna let some shitbag be around.
No,
But
definitely
Yeah.
I'm
not,
saying,
because then you catch
but
a
I'm saying,
charge.
but there's also yeah, exactly. But there's also a lot of guys who wouldn't even want a positive guy being around just because it's the mom's boyfriend or something. You know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah,
he ain't his dad. Like he ain't gonna. That's all bullshit. If they're good influences on the life and they're gonna help that person be a better person, then be thankful.
No, yeah, you're 100%
very
right,
true.
man.
Very true. Very
But
true.
so let me ask you, how y'all decide to start teaming up?
You got
I'll let him take over.
Luke
I'm
got
talking
tired
too
of being the
much.
silly
Oh,
stomper.
I didn't come up with the idea. I just that's all you, dog.
Well, you could
You
tell him at least.
you just
Yeah,
said, "Hey,
man.
we're gonna start teaming up." I said, "Okay." End of story. We started doing it ever since then. Yeah.
Uh,
It's been a lot of
happily
fun.
happily ever after.
How long were you teaming? How long were you doing your solo thing before your pop said, "Yo, we're gonna
So
start
it
teaming"?
was about a year. So I started in 2017, like November 2017. I had a couple. I had like no, we did a couple tag matches together, and then from there, I think like my sixth match in, I was starting to wrestle by myself, and then I went to England. I spent the summer with the Knights, and I was doing the camps over there, and I
Awesome.
did like
That's
25
awesome.
matches in a month.
You,
Yeah,
you you know how good that is for you? All
oh,
that repetition. That's
it was
awesome, man.
it was excellent.
They,
It was tough,
they set you up for
but
success right
but
there, man.
it was good because I learned a lot, and I'm very grateful I did that. I'm grateful for them for letting me come over, and
Hmm.
also again the experience because I mean, some guys don't even get 25 matches in a year, and I got that right in a month, which is it's crazy.
That's
It was
awesome.
such a good learning experience. It toughed me up, and and again, just for me starting young, it wasn't high pressure matches. It was we're going to this town, we're doing it in front of these people, then we're gonna go right down the road and do that, and it's like
Yeah,
you said, repetition.
yeah.
And I did more singles matches, but after that we started tagging. But I love tag team wrestling because it's fun
Me
to do
too.
it with my dad because he's still young and he can still go and he looks great. And a lot of people can't say that. Once you see the fathers and sons tag, usually their dads are older, but he's
Yeah,
still in his prime, and I'm still getting there. I'm trying
yeah.
to do more in my part to be the part, but it's a lot of fun. We have good chemistry in the ring, and there's nothing better. It's cool just being there with
Yeah,
my
you guys
dad
look
and
great,
watching him do
man.
his thing, and
Yeah, I love
fun.
it, bro. Yeah, it's awesome. It's
Yes, he
awesome. That's
is.
like me and him.
Yes.
Like that's the best.
Yep.
That's one of the best things. Me and him teaming together is like who can you better to trust than your own brother or your own father.
Yep.
You
Well,
you
that's what
ready?
I'm saying. Y'all know each other, right? You know each
Yep.
other's moves. You know how
You,
each other
you know
think,
how
and
we
it's
think.
just
Yep. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah.
A lot of
Sometimes
times
you
we
want to
just
kill
go
a
in there and
motherfucker.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Most of the
I
time.
do love wrestling singles. Don't get me wrong, but because singles wrestlings I love more because I like doing amateur wrestling, so I feel it's a lot easier for me to chain and do all the other kind of stuff because it's not really the place in the tag match. You can do it for a little bit, but it's not really.
Yeah, you can't go too crazy with it.
No, yeah. But tag wrestling again, it's just fun because we're just working together and just watching like how he does it. I'm sitting there, I'm watching what I'm not thinking about what I got to do. I'm watching him. I'm paying attention to what he's doing. Like it's just cool because it's like it's a front row seat. I'm observing everything he's doing. It's a lot of fun.
Like I don't know if you felt this way because, like you said, with the amateur wrestling with all the chain and all that, it's kind of hard when because a lot of people don't know amateur wrestling and they don't know chain. So do you feel like sometimes you have to dumb down your style to accommodate certain people?
No, and I would say that's one thing I pride myself on. I do feel like I can kind of go in there, and if anything, it helps me feel more relaxed because if I know something's going wrong, I can adjust like that because it's that's part of the game, right? If somebody shoots a double leg on you, I got to sprawl. I got and maybe he stands up, then I got to shoot, and I feel the same way when I'm in pro wrestling. It's just okay,
he's smooth.
Happening, I can just fix it, and. I know what's happening. So even if I can recover or I can do more stuff to make up for it. And, I would say it's been a while since I've had a really technical match, but I would love to start doing more of those, just going with some of the best technicians and just kind of, showing how good I am.
But they're rare. So they're not a lot of them out there. So
I was just going to say that, man.
That's what I was saying. Cause man, I can tell you so you got these people, they'll put on kick pads and they'll try to play this shooter character.
Yeah.
And they can't chain wrestle to save their fucking life. That's what I was saying. Like, there was a lot of times I would be in the ring and I would have to, I start going with these guys, chain. I'm like, this motherfucker don't know nothing.
Sorry. It's not hard for me because I just take control. And I don't mean I'm shooting. I just,
that's when you have to, you wanted to do something cool, and then it's like, fuck it, I'm just going to have to yoke this motherfucker.
But that's fine with me, though, because, again, I think that's part of the art of pro wrestling, too. You got to be able to go out there and work with anybody, right? Especially to make yourself look good and the other person look good. And, I think that's part of the skill set, right? So it's just that's another fun challenge, too, for me, just going out there and, just doing my best and making sure it looks really good. It's fun.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, I got one more thing real quick before I know we're getting close. We already hit that hour mark.
Don't worry about it. Let's keep going.
That dive.
You going?
Your dive, bro.
Oh,
I gotta bring that shit up.
That was on TMZ, right?
Man, that shit was
made TMZ.
every fucking where. And I seen that shit and I'm like, I had so many people sending me it. And I'm like, they're like, yo, can you believe this shit? I'm like, yo, that's my boy's son. I'm like, that's crazy as fuck.
That's my nephew.
That angle from
right.
the top, man. For the view from up top when you dove, I was like, God damn, bro, that bitch is high as fuck.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you a question. Was that an audible? Did you just call that on the spot? Like, oh fuck, I'm just gonna do it.
Day of. It was the day of. So we just got there and we're talking and he's like, yeah, somebody should jump off. And we're like, okay. And like, you do it. I'm like, okay, sure. Why not? We're like, whatever. So
that ain't what happened. I said, hey, somebody should jump off here tonight. And he said, I want to jump off here. I looked at him. I was like, wait, that's so uncharacteristic for you because you're such a shoot amateur wrestler that you never want to do any high flying or anything. And now you want to jump off the mall. And he's like, well, you think I could do it? I said, hell yeah, you could do it. You safe. You do high falls. You do stunts. You do, like you're a stunt man. You do all this shit. And he's just like, well, so why would somebody else do it? Why don't you let me do it? I said, well, I just didn't think you would want to do something like that because it's not your style of wrestling. So I know you can do it because I know you got the skill set. I was just like, he loves to amateur wrestle. He loves to mat wrestle. He doesn't really like to do anything high flying. You know what I mean? Like he's a very active. In my mind, I think he's one of the best amateur wrestlers in that style of wrestling in the country. Obviously you go over to England and stuff. That's all they do over there. So there's guys that are better, but he's extremely good at what he does. And I know that high flying is not his style. So I didn't think he would want to do that. And he volunteered to do it. And then I was like, well, shoot, do it then. Like, yeah, you got my support. I think it's going to, my exact words were the whole point of it is I think it will go viral. I think we can shoot this the right way and it will go viral, and you'll get a lot of notoriety from it. And then, when he did it, at first he kind of got upset because they had all these people shitting on him, saying this kid obviously can't wrestle, so he has to resort to stupid stunt tactics and he's like, motherfucker, when I'm wrestling my ass off and I'm wrestling a 30-minute match, killing it, ain't nobody paying attention to it.
Right.
Because, you know what I mean? So they're paying attention to it here, but like not online. Nobody's going, look how good of a fucking wrestler this guy is. Look how good, you know what I mean? Like nobody's saying that.
I would say that was the frustrating part. I knew I saw earlier, like my dad did death matches, right? There's something that kind of blew him up, but this was going to be something that's probably the craziest thing I would do, because I'm not trying to do anything too crazy. I want to just be a good wrestler. I want to show that. Right. When times come, I'll do something here and there, but I'm not trying to do something all the time. And I didn't expect it to go as big as it did, but I mean, it blew up pretty big, right? And it was a great spot. We wrestled we wrestled Fly Deaf. We wrestled them multiple times. Shout out to them first off, because
great tag team.
Yeah, great tag team. They caught me, they got me good. But it's just something that I'm like, okay, let's do it, because when else am I going to do this, right? It's not gonna happen again. And I did it, and it was awesome, like it couldn't have gone more perfectly. And and then it blew up. But I think that was one of the biggest things. It's like I still get asked that, oh man, the mall jump, and it's cool because so many people have seen it. It's amazing. Yeah. I think it was definitely a good spot, but at the same time too, I mean, I know what I'm doing. That's why I asked him, like, you think I can make it? And he's like, yeah. I knew I had the confidence to do crossbody. How high
was that?
About 15 feet. So
that's it,
dude. That angle looks fucking crazy.
Yeah, it looked a lot higher than that, bro.
It was about 15 feet. But
okay,
why
would talk about that shit?
But 15 feet's pretty fucking high.
Nah, yeah, it is. It's
Go
that shit look like, bro.
Here's the difference.
It looked like you jump from the top of the mall.
Go look at 15 feet from the ground, and you look and you go, I don't think that's that bad, right? Like, but if you go up and you go up top, 15 feet. You're like, no, fuck this. It's a whole different ballgame when you're standing up on that ledge.
It was so strange because I was not nervous at all. I got over the railing. The only thing I was nervous about, I'm like, okay, I need to get over the railing. So I did. You see me hesitate, and I'm like, okay, let me get my footing, because I'm like, that's the only thing. I knew if I slipped, that would be the only thing. So get my footing. I got up there. And I just did the similar cross. And I jumped off. And as soon as I jumped off, I'm like, I got this. Like, I knew it as soon as I came off. And
he didn't do that. He didn't do that because he's religious. He did that because he was paying tribute to Altar Boy Luke.
I was thinking that same thing.
The only thing that would have been better is if he would have did the Halo.
Yeah.
That would have been even crazier. I'm not that much of a daredevil, but
that was one of my favorite moonsaults of all time. When you would stand on that second rope on the outside, and
I still do it.
I still do it.
I break it out on occasion because I just still do it every match, man. Because you know what I mean.
Fucking arms. Why you gotta do that shit?
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have to do it no more.
I think about how inventive I was in wrestling and all the crazy shit. I mean, you guys too, like a lot of guys back then, like we were all hungry and we all came up with unique things. And I mean, one of my favorite things that y'all did was when y'all used to do the springboard and sit on your shins on the ropes and then do the little thing.
I would get fucking heat for that. They would like somebody.
Everybody thought he couldn't get over. So that's why he did it.
And then Slash, I do at Jackass Slash, be like, oh man, that's so stupid. Don't do that. I said, bro, I stole that shit from Sabu. Sabu did it as a fuck up, and I just took it and I ran with it. I said,
yeah.
And then a matter of fact, dude, the other night I saw it on TV. Somebody did it on fucking TV. I can't. One of the cats on NXT, that tag team, the ones that just had the belts,
the Dirty Rascals or whatever.
Yeah. One of them did it. I was like, look at that shit.
Hey, but like that's the thing is nowadays, bruh, these dudes are doing some wild shit. You know what I mean? Like I stopped high flying because of Jack Evans. When Jack Evans got in the game, I said, oh, it's time for me to be a heavyweight because I can't do none of this shit this motherfucker can do. Because my whole point of being when I got wrestling, I wanted to be an innovator. And I wanted to do things that nobody else did. And I wanted to be like this legend, right? I wanted to be this guy that people looked up to because I did this shit that nobody else did. And then it just evolved so fast. Like guys started coming out the woodworks, like, because that's by that time, guys who were gymnastics guys their whole lives started getting into business and this and that. And, started looking like fucking Circus Soleil. And, and I was just like, man, well, there goes my natural body movements that like I would come up with and like things I like, because I was just, that shit for me was self-taught. That would be me get an idea and just think I want to, because I never took any martial arts. I never took any gymnastics. I was fucking broke. I was a poor fucking kid on the street. So I never had nothing. I didn't have a pot to piss in, So I didn't get to do, I didn't get to play organized sports or anything like that. I didn't get to play football or nothing like that. I couldn't afford it. I didn't have, I was in a boys' home. I didn't have a rod to practice. But there was no way I could do any of that. So when I got into wrestling, everything I did was off my natural abilities. And I practiced, I would come up with these things and I said, look, like the halo, and then eventually that chick started doing it in Japan until she did it that one time and landed on her neck. But I don't remember her name back then, but like I was like, I bet you I could stand on the outside and do a moonsault into the ring off the ropes. And everybody's like, oh man, your legs are gonna get caught, And I was like, no, I could do this. I could do it. So like, and that, it was just what?
So you just fucking came out off the top of the dome with that shit?
That shit was dope as fuck.
Yeah.
But yo, like it's to me, it's like we actually had SAT on, and they were talking about how a lot of the moves that they came up with, they used to just when they would be playing with GI Joes, they would be trying to figure out how movements with the fucking figures.
Yeah.
So it's like shit like that. Like and I remember doing shit like that too.
Yeah, I would just come up with. I didn't
just off the top of the dome. You're like, fuck it.
Just off, off the
try
head.
that shit.
Yeah, and I would. Like I was like, there were so many things that I thought I could do. And I was like, man, and then like I started seeing like matches in Japan, like guys like Dragon Kid and those guys and the crazy stuff they would do. Like, that was like cool shit.
450 moonsault. I'm not 450.
Yeah,
Rana.
450 Hurricane Rana. I remember that
like,
shit. I was like,
shit.
what the fuck? I'm out.
Yeah.
See, man, when I broke in, I just wanted to be like Angel, man, because Angel was like, he trained me, so I was like, man, I want to be just like him. And then as I got like further on, I'm like, man, this guy fucking sucks. Like I gotta be like somebody else.
Wait, yeah. You didn't want to get stabbed with a fucking fork in the ass.
Yeah, I didn't want to get stabbed with a fork. I would get beat up by New Jack every night. I want to win.
Damn, bro. Yeah, look. Angel said you made him a proud pop.
Oh man, Angel's always been one of the good guys, bro.
Bro, I could never say nothing bad about him because he took me in the beginning. Just when I started training, he trained me, and then Johnny goes, take him on the road with you. So he started taking me on the road with him, but me being on the road with him because he couldn't fucking drive, I would drive him everywhere because he didn't have a fucking license. Yeah. He couldn't drive to save his life, so I would drive him to shows and shit, and that's how I learned. Just getting in the car with him and Sal and listening, and then helping set up the ring, and I listening again and just kept listening, always bringing my stuff, and I would get a shot here and there.
That's my pops, by the way, Luke.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's still on some of those empanadas.
I ain't seen him in a while. Yeah, it's been about 15 years since I've seen him.
The last time he came, he ate all those empanadas.
Right? Yeah. He's still up in New York.
No, he's in Connecticut now.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. So what you guys got planned coming up?
We got NWA in a couple weeks. We got MCW this weekend, the Shamrock Cup.
Shamrock Cup.
Yeah.
Didn't you win that?
I did. 2013 Shamrock Cup winner, baby. So
you're both competing in it?
Yeah. First time a father son compete in the Shamrock Cup, which is cool.
You got first round matchup right here? Or?
No, I'm wrestling Casey Navarro in the first round.
Okay.
And Harry, who you wrestling? Miles Hawkins?
Miles Hawkins, correct.
Okay.
Miles Hawkins, yeah. I know both names. I'm not familiar with their work, but I know both names.
Yeah, I think I've seen Casey Navarro does some of that deathmatch stuff, right?
Does he?
I don't know.
I know. I seen him. I think Kevin Matthews uses him.
Yeah, he's talented. I've seen some clips of him. I know he's talented. He's on that XPW show tonight that drew 50 people.
That's all it drew. Oh shit!
Oh
Good.
no! Ouch.
Ed, did they try to contact you for that?
Come on, bro. You know better than that. Yeah, that motherfucker ain't calling me. Hey,
I think that.
I guarantee you he don't want to see me, bro.
Wow.
Now, let me ask you a question. What can you talk about it now? Because
I, you know,
not with him, with Shane Douglas. The Heat with Shane Douglas.
yeah. I
How'd
can
that
talk about
start?
that.
Because that was your idol. That was one of your idols.
Yeah. Well,
Perfect Perry Douglas.
it started the old school.
Yeah.
It started with the XPW stuff. You know what I mean? Like Shane was just a different guy back then, and me and him. I was a young, hungry kid, and you know, like they just treated the young guys different back then. Especially, look, not a lot of guys thought I was going to stick around back then. Let's be honest. I mean, I was 140 pounds. I was skinny. You know, I couldn't cut a promo. But nobody was coaching me. Like I didn't have anybody. You know, I had Vic teaching me how to wrestle, but like I didn't have. You know, they didn't see potential in me because I wasn't 6'4" and 300 pounds, and you know what I mean. Like those are the guys they put their interest in. So they didn't. A lot of guys didn't treat me very well. They weren't nice to me. You know, and none of them beat up on me because they knew I fought. So like it was, you know, you guys know it was just like
Yeah.
it wasn't a toughness thing. They were just like, this kid can't make any money in the business. Like he ain't nothing in the business because he's not 6'5" and he's not
Yeah,
300 pounds. And,
you are swole yet.
yeah. So instead of telling me to hit the gym and do that shit, they treated me bad. And I won't go into detail, but I had a few run-ins with Shane, and you know, like it to be honest, it hurt my pride and it hurt my ego because I looked up to him so much. And the last thing you want to hear from somebody that you look up to is that, you know, basically like you don't have what it takes to be in this business.
Right.
And so and I seen some of the things he was doing, and that's when he had a bad drug problem and stuff like that. And that shit hurt me too, because you know I was never involved in drugs or anything like that.
Right.
Like when we were in XPW, they had guys who did drugs, and there was the wrestling business all over the wrestling business, right? Like
Yeah.
I seen it all. I seen it all in the wrestling business as far as drugs go. But you know, we didn't do that shit.
No.
So you know, the newer generation was kind of away from that shit. I didn't even drink back then. Y'all remember?
Yeah.
But like,
I like my weed.
Yeah.
But, you know.
yeah. But I'm saying like no, like these dudes, you know, a lot of them were doing the hard shit and the road shit, and they were living that rough life, and like that was hard to watch when you see somebody you look up to do that shit, and you're like, wait, what? And you contradict everything you say in promos, and you know, like I took that shit to heart. So and it got deeper. It got a lot deeper than that. But the long story short, like it just turned into this thing where I started to hate Shane, and I was vocal about it. And you know, and he didn't like me neither because he didn't really see anything in me. And like in his mind, he was saying he pushed me in XPW. He was the one that pushed me, but it wasn't him who pushed me. It was Ryan and Smiley. I mean, it was Smiley and Kevin Conrock.
Kevin Kleinrock,
And-
awesome guys, both awesome guys.
But great guys. And so I would cut these promos on Shane because I basically just said at some point in my wrestling career, probably around, I don't know, 07, 08, 09, somewhere up in there. I said, you know what? I'm tired of being the nice guy in wrestling. I'm tired of always, you know, helping guys carry their bags and coming early and setting up and doing all this shit just to always be treated like shit by these older guys. They get paid these big paydays. They come in the locker room and they get all fucking drugged up and they pass out and they can barely wrestle. And here I am, you know, working a 40-hour-a-week job, 50-hour-a-week job, whatever the fuck it is, killing myself, working 2 jobs, really, you know, plus wrestling and driving across country, you know, for $50 to make no money. You know, I just got fucking tired of it, bro. I just got bitter. So I said, you know what? Fuck these guys. They treated me, if they would have treated me nice, it would have been a whole different story. But it was several guys. It wasn't just Shane. It was a bunch of them. So I just started going after every motherfucker who was just like a dickhead to me, you know, for no reason that I was nice to. Not guys that like were just might have had a bad night. I mean, the guys like that were just like an asshole to young guys for no reason and took advantage of them. And I just started saying fuck them. And I started, and people were like, "Whoa, what are you doing, bro? Nobody talks like this. They're not going to book you, and this guy's going to hate you." And I said, "I don't want them to book me. If I ain't trying to get booked, they can go fuck themselves. And when I see them, I'm gonna fuck them up, like for real. Like I'm going back to my street life. Like you're gonna meet the real Orange Hawksers, the motherfucker from the streets that grew up in the fucking home and walked in and talked it. Like, ain't no more politics in wrestling. I'm the new guy, so I got to carry your bag and, fuck that. Like, I'm done with that shit. So I just started going off. And then they had those Extreme Rising shows that
So that's
had
what I was.
so much potential.
I remember going to the show with you, right? And
Yeah.
he saw you, and you were like, "Hey, we're gonna talk." And he goes, "Yeah, give me a minute." And then he hightailed it out the fucking arena.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
he didn't remember that shit.
Yep.
He did it to you
And,
that whole weekend. He didn't talk to you that whole
well,
weekend.
that was because that was like I was gonna bury it, right? And I said like there were so many guys trying to bury it, and they wanted him to work with me, but he didn't want to work with me because he knew, like, he's like, "Nah, Luke's gonna fuck me up," and I can't tell you I would have or if I wouldn't have. And the only reason I honestly I can't say that, I'm telling you right now, as a professional and as a person, I had so much anger and hostility towards these guys that in my mind, not just in my mind, they did me wrong. They fucked me over and they were treating me like shit. Like I was gonna show them I'm not your bitch.
Right.
So you've awoken like you took the nice guy out of me. You fucking burned me to the ends from both ends. You know what I mean? So now you're gonna pay. So, and I think Shane definitely knew that he had it coming, and I was hot, at a few of them, bro. And I'm glad that we didn't wrestle now because my temper really probably would have got the better of me back then, and not because I'm not professional. It's just you got to understand when you get kicked and kicked and kicked. If you a dog and you own a dog and the guy comes out there and kicks the fucking dog every day, at some point the dog's probably gonna bite back. Right. And I just got tired of being kicked. And I think that if I would have wrestled Shane back then, I'm not saying I would have killed him, but I would have definitely roughed him up pretty bad. And that honestly probably wasn't the right thing to do. Because I wanted to fight backstage. Like I didn't want to do any of that shit in the ring, but nobody wanted to ever fight. I mean, like that's all I did. So I wanted to fight backstage. I was like, let's fucking throw hands and let's settle this shit. Let's right the fuck now. And it never would happen. Like it happened to fucking 500 times with other people, but it never happened.
When you Jack and Balls Mahoney, you remember that shit?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It happened with other people. We threw hands and fucking it just was what it was. You settled your problems. But those guys, they didn't want to throw hands because they probably couldn't really fight, to be honest. And I don't know if Shane could or not. I'm not. Shane's a tough. Yeah, Shane's a tough motherfucker. So like, no discredit there. But we had all those years where it was just heat and hostility, and no matter who talked to us from either side, like nobody was getting through because there was so much animosity there. And then after it all happened with the Extreme Rising, the company went downhill, and we know all the shit that happened there. But like, we were at a convention in Philly, and Joel Gertner, I was with Joel, and Shane was there, and I was like, man, I just didn't even have it in me anymore. I was like, I'm not even worried about him. Like I'm not worried about Shane no more. Like his life is, kicked his ass enough. He took his turn. You know what I mean? Like I did. I felt bad for him because I was like, he put on weight and he was addicted to pills and shit for a long time, and and then people were picking on him for working a regular job and shit. And I was like, look, I could go punch him in the face right now, but it doesn't solve nothing. It's not going to change the way he thinks. It's not going to change anything. And I said, I was just thinking. I said I would bury the heat with him. Like, I'm not going to wrestle a dude. So, like that. Then that was when it was really all over. Like back in then, like I just wanted to wrestle these guys because I looked up to them and I wanted to show them how good I was in the ring. Like I wanted them to see, like I'm not just the green guy, you know what I mean? I'm not just this new dude who got in the business that could do 450s. Like I can fucking work, and I love wrestling, and I train hard and I work hard, and I want you to see that. And it just I wasn't in that position because I didn't have the look. There was a lot of things, right?
Man.
So when it got time to bury that shit, like I was there and I told Joe, I said, I don't have it in me. I'm not going to cause no shit with him, because Joel was worried about me causing shit with him. Joel's my buddy, and Joel's like, don't go get in trouble. I said, bro, I'm not even like, I said, I would talk to the dude now. I'm like, that heat's off my chest. You know what I mean? It is what it is. We're not going to have any string of matches. Like he's already, he's not really wrestling anymore, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I tell you what, Joel, just to ease his mind, because I know Shane was still worried about me. I said, just to ease his mind, do me a favor. Why don't you go over there and tell him that he doesn't have to worry about me being here. I'm not going to cause any shit with him. And as a matter of fact, tell him that I would love to just speak to him man to man. It's probably not going to happen. He's probably not going to do it because, the instant, like when every time we try to even talk before, like there was no way he was going to be in the same room with me, because it was just like, nope. Yeah, I'm not going with. Yeah. So Joe went and talked to him, and then Joe came back. He goes, he's going to meet you. He said, meet him in the back in a few minutes. So I was like, holy shit. So we went in the back, and then we started talking. And this is how bad it was. Everybody knew about it, right? Dreamer come walking, and Dreamer knew we were back there. So Dreamer came around the corner, and Dreamer was just like watching from about 100 yards away. He was just eyeing the whole thing to make sure nothing happened, because he's like, because Dreamer knew the whole situation, and he knew me since I was a kid. He knew how fucking nuts I am. So he's like, oh shit, here it goes. Luke's about to fucking crack some fucking heads. We talked. Honestly, the conversation that day didn't go really anywhere. It mostly went back to the old Shane of talking about, who he disliked in WCW and who, Shawn Michaels and all that shit. And I was like, look, I'm not here for any of that, bro. I'm here to tell you why I have these problems with you. And straight up, bro, he straight up told me, he said, look, I was a different person. I was caught up in the whirlwind of, I was probably high because I was probably on fucking some OxyContin, and I was living a different style of life, and I did not purposely mean to treat you like that. It was just what I did, and I'm sorry, and I'm, you're talented, and I see how hard you work, and, let's work a program. So I was like, I would love to work a program, and I'm telling you, you can trust me. I'm not going to fucking, swing on you for real, like all this shit. Like, it was cool. So here was the most respectful thing that came out of that was Shane was overweight. And, he straight up told me, he said, I want my program to be with you, really my literal last run. And he would update me. He would send me weekly messages. Hey, I lost 10 pounds. Hey, I've been eating this. This was my diet this week. So for him to go from that one extreme all the way over here to respecting me so much that he's taking his nutrition and his health, and he's like in the gym, and he's doing, and he's dropping weight. Just that little bit alone showed me that I had enough respect from somebody that I idolized, that they took my work ethic so seriously that they went and bettered themselves just so they can be in the ring with me. And that was you don't get too many sentimental moments like that in wrestling. He worked hard. Was he the Shane Douglas in 98, 99, 2000? No, he wasn't. But he also wasn't a turd that was, way past his prime that shouldn't have been in the ring. Like he really took it seriously, and he really wanted to have a good string of matches with me and have good angles. And he realized that I had good ideas and that I could push the envelope a little bit and take it to that next level, because it was real. It was real, right? It wasn't, none of it was fake. It wasn't bullshit. So we got to live off of real emotions, and we got to make some money and have some fun and take it around a little bit. The same what me and Matt Hardy did. It was no different. All that shit with Matt was real. He really got hurt. Revy really blamed me for him getting hurt, which was just a freak accident. And I said, well, fuck it. I'm gonna run with it. If she's blaming me, I'm gonna say, yeah, fuck yeah, I did it. Fuck yeah, I did it on purpose, even though I did. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, it was an accident that we turned into an angle that ended up, it was real. So we got to make some money off it, and we got to have a good time with it and get my son involved. So I'm thankful, man. I'm really thankful that a lot of respect for Shane Douglas, a lot of respect for everything he's done in the business and the work he's put in. And, I'm just really glad that I got to close that chapter in my life, because I really would, there's people I dislike, right? And there's people that are bad people. I don't think Shane's a bad person. So I'm thankful that I would much rather live my life closing that door and burying the heat with somebody that, I looked up to than always going, fuck, this guy I idolized is really a piece of shit. So I'm thankful that he wasn't a piece of shit, and that we got to bury him and we got to work together, and that he took his matches with me very seriously, and that, we talk often, and we don't talk about wrestling. Like, he calls me and we talk about life, which is cool for me.
Glad he changed, man, because he was on a shitty path, man, and he was definitely an asshole to a lot of the younger guys. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't have a name or a fucking or if you weren't affiliated with any of the big companies, he ain't really give a fuck to even acknowledge you.
There was a lot of guys
we had that same shit with them, ourselves.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and and even like what we actually talked about it before, but like for us, man, like, we love DCW, so seeing, some of these motherfuckers in the locker room doing shit, it was definitely disappointing to see shit like that. It's one thing to you letting loose at the hotel after a fucking show, you want to get fucked up, do what you do.
Yeah,
it's one thing, man, but in the locker room, like when you still haven't even fucking gone out, like for me, like I always think about, like, man, you see these guys come out and they did these half-ass jobs because they were fucked up.
Yeah,
they get to the building fucked up, and then while the whole show's going on, all they're doing is getting fucked up. Then they're gonna walk out there, sell their fucking merch during intermission,
make 10 times more, make 50 times more than you getting paid.
Then they're gonna come back to the back again, get fucked up some more, and then they're gonna go out there and put on a shitty fucking performance or not even be able to fucking perform because they're too fucked up, and like when we had Frank Goodman on, man, we like shit. I remember me and Louis were talking about it with him. Like we seen fucking Shane Douglas come into the fucking locker room with a fucking cooler with fucking, I think it was
morphine lollipops,
popsicles, and him and fucking the triple threat,
Bam,
Bam,
and Chris Candido,
man. They sat there and got fucked up, loving on that shit, and they were fucking fucked up the whole show. Bam didn't even fucking perform.
That was part of the problem. You know what I mean? But that was a major part of the problem back then with a lot of guys. They were that road life where they were tore up, and, they lived hard and they lived fast. And honestly, I think they did need that stuff. And I'm not an advocate for it, but like we didn't get to live that life, right? We didn't go on the road 300 days a year. You know what I mean? And nonstop for like in spending what you're making. And you think these guys are making bank, but in reality, they weren't making what we thought they were making, right?
But you want to know something, Luke? I like to think that maybe we didn't go that route too because where we grew up. Like,
of course.
They grew up a privileged lifestyle. We grew up in the hood. We grew up in the streets. We saw what that was doing to our people in the streets. I didn't want no part of it, and I didn't want to see it in the locker room. So that's why we didn't go that way.
100%. But again, that also goes to why I had so much animosity towards these guys, because it reminded me of my childhood So like I didn't have any respect. I didn't have any understanding for why they were doing it. I just thought they were doing it the same reason my fucking mom was doing it. You know what I mean? So it was like it just made me sick. So it's like as I get older and as I understand the business a little more, I realize how that became a tradition that was passed down because they took the pills to go to sleep. They took the cocaine to wake up. I'm not making excuses for it.
Right.
It was just like, I mean, look at all the celebrities that do it, right? We don't know about it, right? There's a million of them, all these fucking actors and bands, but you never see that shit because it's a different business, right? That's a party lifestyle. Wrestling's a party lifestyle too, but it's a different lifestyle. These motherfuckers are on the road in cars driving 8 hours a night to make it to the next town, and they're partying and so I understand why they got caught up in it. And back in the day, I didn't really understand it, but I also didn't give a fuck why they were doing it. I was just angry. I was angry at it. I was angry. Like if you did drugs and you were out like in that scenario, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? I didn't like you usually. I really didn't have a problem with the guys who partied and did it behind closed doors or went in the hotel rooms after I did. But because I just didn't hang with the people. I was hanging with y'all. I was hanging with Roy, and I was hanging with we were going to fucking Dave and Buster's and playing video games and shit. You know what I mean? And whatever, just chilling in the room,
making a Wawa run to get subs and shit.
No, exactly.
In the hotel room, just laughing.
Yeah, and that's what we were doing, and the other ones were living the wild life that they knew, and we didn't do that shit. So it was a different time, it's just a different time. And we had different, but look at the same thing with our generations with the Punks and the AJ Styles and all those guys, they were our generation. And they were bringing PlayStations on the road and going back to the hotel room and fucking.
I remember AJ with the GameCube. AJ had the GameCube that Nintendo would carry around.
But the old guys would look at them like, "What? You going to fucking play video games?
Going to play Madden?
Madden?
Yeah."
So
hey, I want to before we go.
I know you gotta go. Late.
No. I want to know about what's coming on. We're gonna have a season 2 of Heels.
Oh yeah. We just got renewed for season 2 of Heels.
You guys on it?
Yeah, of course we're on.
You guys,
So no details on anything yet, but
no details. I just want to know you guys coming back.
No, season 2 is coming back. Yeah, we'll be shooting in 2022, and
awesome.
We're working on things now. We're getting, again, it just got picked up last week, so we just got the official word last week. So now we start moving forward. I know they're starting with the writing and everything else like that, and we'll move forward. Luke keeps looking. Is she coming at you over there?
No, I got my coworkers there. They're about
you at work? Oh,
yeah.
All right. I thought the old lady was coming at you with
Nah, I'd be like this.
Man, I'm so fucking proud of everything you've done, Luke, man, and you too, PJ, man. It's great to see, what you've become. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm not done yet.
Like I said, I still remember you being, 140 pounds, probably.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a long way, man. It's a long way. It's a different life. But that's why I was talking about earlier. I don't know if this new style wrestling is better or not, because I just see
I don't see no longevity for some of these kids.
I don't see longevity, but I also don't see like the appreciation, because a lot of them get too much too fast. It sounds like I'm this grumpy old man, but it's just here they going tomorrow. Like there's no respect. You see guys, nobody shakes hands anymore. Nobody's coming in and being friendly and trying to get in the locker room. Everybody's just like, oh yeah, bro, I got 50,000 fucking Instagram followers. You know what I mean? I'm a fucking star. You're like, what? This dude thinks he's fucking this dude really has an ego because he has fucking Instagram followers that he paid for. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Hey, before we leave, tell me, I know you got some good stories. I know Paul Bear was ribbing you.
Yeah.
Paul Bear used to rib you. Tell them the story, because I think that was one of the best ribs I ever heard.
There's so many of them. I can tell you. So I'll give you a PG one. Okay. We won't go.
It don't gotta be PG, bro.
I like to keep some of them personal. So
okay.
I mean, you guys know it, but I don't want to tell it to the world. So Perry's grandma doesn't speak good English,
This is the
and this is
story I was
yeah,
talking
this
about.
is no, okay, good. Okay, I think someone one of those. So this is old school. So Perry, at the time in the house, we lived in a 3-bedroom apartment that actually his grandmother still lives in, and it was myself, Perry. He was a young baby. His mother, her sister, his grandmother, and his great grandmother. That's 6 of us in a 3-bedroom little apartment, right? And no cell phones back then. So like you had to have money, you had to be rich to have a cell
The
phone.
landline. The landline.
The landline, one landline, and it was in the fucking kitchen. So they already don't speak. The grandmother speaks zero English. The great grandmother speaks zero English, and the grandmother speaks little English. Doesn't like to speak English.
Yeah.
I'm fucking 16 years old, and in the middle of the night, like Paul Bear and them, they be on the road, Undertaker, Kane, all them. They fucking they love me. So they would call my house at like 3 in the morning. So the kitchen phone would ring in the middle of the fucking night on like a Tuesday night. You know what I mean? A Monday night, they're traveling from town to town, partying her ass off, and she would answer the phone, and he would just go, "Oh yes." Then they call me Orkin. My real name is, you guys know this, but most
Yeah.
people don't know. My real name is Oren, so they would always call me Orkin. And they say, "Put Orkin on the phone." So, hey, she would come pounding on the door, kicking me and saying she's kicking me out the fucking house. And it would cause so much turmoil in my house and so many headaches. But here's the thing is, here's the thing is, I'm 16, so my frame of thought is,
This is great.
I got Paul
well,
Bear
no.
calling me.
Well, yeah, it's cool because he'd be with everybody else in the background. They'd be yelling shit too. But what's great about it was, yeah, that was it. But I'm thinking it's cool. But I'm thinking, fuck, I ain't gonna have a place to live. Like this motherfucker's getting me, and I can't tell him to stop calling my house because if I tell him that, I'm never gonna get in the WWF. You know what I mean? Like he's never gonna bring me to the WWF. That's how the hell I was thinking. And I was like, but like I can't. Like my mother-in-law doesn't understand that this guy is world famous and these guys are all super famous
Yeah,
superstars. And
yeah, yeah.
they just call me up to fuck with me because I'm a young kid that's always hanging around that they see potential in. So yeah, man, that shit was
It's fucking awesome.
it was funny. It was funny. It was a cool experience because like how many kids get to say that, right? Like you got these important people. But I was hustling back then, so it was like they all knew me because I was around. I was doing whatever the fuck I had to do to be around. So and I miss some days, and that's why I go back to like really paying your dues, because every story I hear with people who want to wrestle is the same fucking story. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I ain't gonna miss practice. I'm gonna be here early. Blah blah blah. And then they're like, "Oh man, fuck! I can't do these push-ups. Fucking, I'm sick today. I can't come." It's just like I pay your dues, man. Put your time in, earn your craft, learn your craft, and I really think that I say this often, and I will continue to say it, that too much success too soon is a recipe for disaster.
Yep. Agree with you. What about you, PJ?
PJ, you got any crazy stories? Road stories yet?
Man, you guys, wow.
Never hooked up with no
I'm
wife.
not too crazy of an individual. Yeah, I beat my dad in basketball earlier. We're doing the
yeah. He beat
Crazy
me.
road story, all right.
Yeah, he beat me in basketball. I smoked him. I smoked him and all his friends.
Oh shit.
But I can't think of any off the top of my head. I mean, I've been plenty with him and stuff like that. But honestly, my road life's been pretty chill. I don't do too much. I go to the show, I go back, I play my Switch, and I go to sleep. And I go
You don't see no funny. You haven't seen nothing funny played on anybody?
No, I don't do anything like that either. Like I said, it's all with him,
God.
and I try to stay out of trouble. So
All right, all right,
But
all right.
I'm sure
He
more.
does.
I just can't think of any off the top of my head. I know if I would have thought of something,
Perry doesn't drink or do anything, so he's never has, never will. So like it's like if I'm going out to have a drink with some of the guys or something, he'll stay at the hotel. Every now and then he'll go out with us and just chill, and
Yeah.
just chill out. But like we don't do nothing crazy. We never did when we was on the road.
No, we
Every now
did.
and
Yeah,
then,
we just
but
joke
like
around. We goof
we
around.
joke
That's
around.
it.
We have fun, man. It's
I have
we went.
I have more fun just in your company than for us to do anything stupid. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah, we didn't
being
have
together
to.
was fun. Yeah.
We weren't like Ken Patera and them and fucking
No.
destroying.
Yeah. McDonald's and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I always tell people about how you saved my life, Luke. When
Or what?
remember homegirl pulled the fucking I was gonna smoke weed
Oh Jesus.
these XPW people, and there was a couple females. And remember, homegirl was like, nobody had any fucking Dutches or anything like that. And homegirl's like, oh, she pulls a fucking can out of her pocket, a crushed up soda can. And you were like, I was like, what the fuck? And you're like, yo, don't do that. He's like, you told me, you're like, hey, that bitch smokes fucking what? I don't remember what the fuck you said, but you're like, yo,
Crack.
she
She's
smokes
probably
crack.
smoking crack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, yo, she smokes crack. And I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Well, see, here's the truth of all this shit is like, I mean, at least for me, and I know you guys too, but at least for me, it's like I didn't have to do wild shit on the road because my life was wild enough. Like my real life at home was wild enough, and I know shit like that because, bro, my mom would be smoking crack out of fucking can. You know what I mean? So like the shit I seen in my lifetime was shit that nobody should ever see, right? Like you really shouldn't see this shit. So I was exposed to so much from a young age. Like all I wanted to do when I was on the road wrestling was hang out with good dudes and have a good time and chase the wrestling that I love. It wasn't about getting fucked up and living a wild and crazy life on the road. I mean, we did dumb shit, but we had fun. We beat the motherfuckers who were like, hey, let's see if we can get on the roof of this hotel and fuck. You know what I mean? Like you just like Daredevil shit. You know what I mean? Like we do Daredevil shit. Like that's because that was us. We parkour before parkour. So like we were doing, it was what it was, man. It was like, I'm thankful, bro. I'm thankful
definitely, bro,
that we had that mindset because, I'm glad I never got mixed up in drugs and alcohol and stuff. And like, I didn't start drinking alcohol until a later age. And by that point, like I was controlling myself because I'm not saying I never got really fucked up before because obviously I like to do that too every now and then. But like, that's rare. You know what I mean? Like those dudes were getting fucked up every day. Like if I'm getting fucked up, I'm in a situation where I know who I'm with. I know where I'm around. I know how I'm getting home. I'm not driving. Like if we going out, we Ubering. Back then, or we were taking a taxi, and like we had everything lined up. Like we weren't gonna go drink and drive. We weren't gonna. I think that we were smart enough to see the mistakes that these other guys were making, and we didn't want to fall down those same paths.
Very true. Very true.
Definitely.
But hey, your school still up and running?
Yeah, we're on a short hiatus right now because of the hurricane, but we'll be back up soon. I think hopefully we'll be back actually next month. So we're working on everything right now.
You wanna plug your school or somebody looking to come train?
Make sure y'all put it out there how people can get in contact with you also.
Wildcat Sports with a K.
Wildcat Sports, wildcatsports.com. And look, I mean, what I'll really plug is more than the school was because I don't know how many people you guys got in Louisiana listening, maybe some, but is fans. Like I really want the fans to watch our product and see our guys. So I think that if you go over to our YouTube page, we put a ton of content on there. It's a lot older content. We're slowly adding more and more stuff, but we got a lot of recent stuff too. But like what we keep going is right now we've been going through our archives and like every week we add an older match to our YouTube. Mm-hmm. So if you go to Wildcat Sports YouTube page, Wildcat Sports and Entertainment, again, Cat with a K, K-A-T, you can check out all our stuff. You can see a lot of Perry's matches. You can see a lot of my matches. And then, Matt Lancey, Jay Spade. Jay Spade's a stud. Buku Dow, Chuck Devine, Danny Flamingo, Nathan Bradley. There's so many good wrestlers that come out of Wildcat. Like, I highly recommend going over to our YouTube page or follow our Instagram or all that shit because we always plug it on there. But go watch our free wrestling. We're not charging for it. Go watch. We got whole shows on there. We got our whole show that we drew 2,000 people at our 8-year anniversary. We got the show where Perry jumped off the mall. We got all that shit on there. So go check it out, please.
Definitely.
Check it out, and not
sure
only
y'all
check
go
it out,
check it out, guys.
share it on social media. You know what I mean? Because we need to get the eyes on us. We're not the East Coast, West Coast boys where we're in these big, populations where we have a lot of following because like our resources down here are limited, and like we have a really really good thing down here, but you compare our population here to like Philadelphia or New York or any of those or Los Angeles, like it's 10 times the size of us, maybe more than 10 times. So like I want those markets to see how talented our guys are. So please check out our page, pick your favorite guys that you like to watch, and share them. Let people see how talented the Wildcat guys are.
Awesome.
Yes.
Definitely, man. I've checked out a couple of you guys. That kid Boogalou is pretty fucking
Oh
good.
yeah, I love that guy. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's funny too, really
Yeah,
funny.
he's pretty entertaining to watch, man. He's good
Yeah.
worker. So, but yeah, y'all make sure y'all check them out, man. Go on there, like, subscribe their page. Also, follow them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Make
All
sure
that stuff.
y'all give them the love, man. These guys are awesome family. You know what I'm saying?
For
That's our
life.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you
But,
guys for having us on, and thank
no,
you for
fuck
everybody that
Anytime,
was
man.
on.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get with you guys before your 'cause once everything starts opening up. I would like to have you guys back on.
Yeah, anytime.
Awesome.
please,
And
man.
I'll,
I'll
si- I'll
happy
sign.
to have y'all.
And we're still trying to make it out there to you.
Yeah, anytime. Look, I got a nice house.
Yeah.
Y'all come stay here anytime y'all want.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Uh,
Yeah, my wife's uncle lives out there, so we're trying to go out there too.
all right.
All right,
Let me
man.
know.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, thank you guys for coming on. We do appreciate it. Make sure y'all tune in, check them out. Watch their videos, like, subscribe, share. They do deserve all the fucking love that y'all could give them because they are awesome. So on that note, we're gonna start wrapping up with for sponsors.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it real quick.
Yeah, quick one. There you go.
Sleeves.com for all your athletic needs. Use our promo code MWPod for your 10% discount.
All right, yeah. And healthvape.com. They sell healthy vaping alternatives. Pick yourself up some of their vape and pod products using our code MWAPod for that 10% discount.
All right.
Also, make sure y'all go on
Twitch.
MWA Podcast Network and .com and twitch.tv/MWA World and all of those other things that we've plugged throughout the whole show. Yeah, we do appreciate y'all for tuning in. Luke, PJ,
Love
thank
y'all,
y'all
man.
for coming on.
Love
We
you guys
do
too,
fucking
man.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
guys.
Thank you.
And on that note, let me try and find this fucking wrap it up shit. Here we go.
Wrap it up.
Later, y'all.